What is going on, boys and girls of YouTube? Bringing you another top 5 video. We're doing hunters today. We've done junglers, we've done bungles, we've done mids, we've done solo laners. Yeah, we did solo laners. Solo laners I think are going to change. So if you guys watch Fine Okay, he creates a lot of solo lane content. He has a lot of mages and guardians. Mages and guardians in the solo lane right now, and Vamana. We're gonna wait and see how the SPL plays out, because that really does determine a lot of the meta. But I do still think for your casual low end and your rank games, the solo lane tier list I gave you has been working really well for most of the people that are giving me feedback. So we're gonna stick with that. Once SPL starts up, we might go back and edit that, right, like pretty fast. But I think overall, with the patch notes that came out yesterday and the game changing, I think we're gonna see a whole change really fast, probably within the next like 2 to 3 weeks. And we'll probably do a new tier list and then remake all these top 5 videos, and I'll get them out one by one over the course of 5 days, just so you guys have the information. With that being said, we're gonna jump into the top 5 hunters. Please make sure you're subscribed. If you like these videos, hit the like button so I know, because the more likes, the more I can literally just look through the content and be like, this is what you guys want, I'll create more of it. Let's get into this. So even with the patch coming out, so you guys know, Ring of Hecate is getting nerfed. It's the first item all mage ADCs are rushing that after boots. It gives lifesteal, power, and then steals power, and then stacks lifesteal. They're taking away the lifesteal stacking, so it will still steal power. It does still have lifesteal on it, and it still has power, and it still has attack speed. Still a really good item. I personally don't think we're going to see too big of a shift away from the mage ADCs. I think they've always been pretty good, but they need that item instead of Bancrofts, and now they have it, especially with the stealing power. But before we get into those, we got some hunters. We got some hunters that can compete with them roughly, especially in your casual and ranked games. Number 5 on the list is going to be Medusa. Medusa's really simple, so you guys know. She got pretty big buffs amongst most of her abilities. I feel like all of her damage is in a really good place right now. She's got the CC immune ulti, so you can actually use it to get away from people or just use it to turn fights. And you have, if you're using it right, you'll hit 1 or 2 people in team fights because people just don't pay attention. You've got the mini root on the dash plus the damage on that, which sets you up for the damage on your 1. Your 1 is now 4 shots at all ranks. I ran Medusa mid and killed a Baba Yaga 3 times before he hit level 2, just by hitting 2 right before him, dashing him, and one-ing him, and killing him over and over and over again. It's pretty crazy. And then you have your 2 for clear. So Medusa actually works like pretty well. Plus you have the strafing aspect, where your passive allows you to suffer no movement penalty when going side to side strafing. You can kind of fight against those mage ADCs a little bit better than a normal hunter. Plus just the overall pressure. Plus this guy can be played in the mid lane. The build, we'll go into that really quick. This is build for Medusa. So there's 4 hunter builds that are going around right now. There's the standard ADC build, which is going to be just pen and attack speed, right? It's actually a little bit less standard than it used to be because Berserker Shield is in it. But you have this lifesteal build where you're going gauntlets right after boots. You're getting Atlantis for the pen and everything. And then you're going Kin, Silver Branch, Berserkers. Really solid item build, and works really well with pretty much everybody. You then have the crit ability build for hunters with abilities, because you go ahead and pick up Fail Not late in the build, and then you can sell boots for Deathbringer. And this build is going to give you crit. It's going to allow you to quickly trade with people. I think most people would prefer this build, especially if you aren't really consistent with your auto attacks. But this is probably a more prominent build for your auto attack gods that are ability based, where you have Medusa, who hits really hard, does auto attack, but has a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4 that all do damage. Allows you to get a little bit more abilities off with the CDR from Fail Not. Plus Fail Not's really good right now with the pen that they added to it. If you didn't know, it's 20% pen. So that Atlantis, and this you have 40% pen. Really solid build. Then we have the other auto attack build, which are a little bit tankier. So if you're trying to be able to trade a little bit earlier, you don't rush into the lifesteal, you rush into Berserker, so you can kind of W key through creeps and stuff. So if you're against another hunter, this might be a build you're looking at doing. And then the final build is going to be the old crit build, which is going to be perfectly fine. You are just swapping out Executioner for Atalanta's bow. All 4 of these builds are being built. I think once, like I said, once SPL is going and we see what builds are winning and what builds are losing, we'll see this narrowed down. So for now, I would look at using the ability crit build for Medusa, and then I would look at using either a standard auto attack build, or I would look at using the tankier auto attack build. Your choice. This build is for gods with steroids because it overcaps, gets you that Silver Branch proc. And Medusa with the 1-up has a little bit of a steroid, so it works out really well for Medusa. And there is your number 4 or 5, not number 4, number 5 on the list. Number 4 on the list is gonna be Cupid. Cupid is f***ing crazy right now. You have crazy clear on Cupid. You have the sustain built into the 2 on Cupid. Your 1 actually does a lot of damage, plus you have the CC on it, and it counters all mobility gods, so it's good against any gods that are mobility because of your ultimate, which cripples and does damage as well. Cupid's in a really good place, and then on top of that, you have the built-in steroid. You get attack speed, passive attack speed when you level up your 3, going up to 20%. Going to be good for those silver branch builds that we talked about. Cupid's the same as Medusa, just a little bit already narrowed down. So you got the tankier build. This build destroys if you're just solid fighting and trading. You will like this build a lot. It will work really well for you. You're selling Ninja Tabby for Ichabod. If you need anything else, you need anti-heal or something, you can sell it for Toxic Blade, but Ichabod does really well for trading and is great once you sell boots. And then next up on the list, we've got our crit build, which is a standard crit build. I think you're going to see less of this right now. I think it's an option. If it's what you're comfortable with, it's good. It's not terrible, but it's a little bit less common. And then you've got that ability build for hunters with the Fail Not, the Wind Demon, the Rage, Atalanas, Ninja, and Gauntlet. And then you're selling boots for Deathbringer, Berserkers, or whatever you need, which is usually going to be Deathbringer just to add on to the crit. You're going to always crit with Deathbringer. You're hit hard as and it's going to be more fun for you when you are landing those autos. Once again, Cupid's ability base, your ultimate has a long cooldown. You want that up as much as possible. Your 1 being a CC and massive burst damage is great to have off of cooldown as much as possible. Plus the survivability with your 3 being up and more sustain on your 2. So CDR is always going to be good on Cupid. Cupid is number 4 on our list. I'm trying to flow through this so you guys aren't watching these videos for 8 hours. Now we're going to get into the Mage ADCs. They're dominating. Ring of Hecate is super bloated right now. It's getting nerfed in like 5 days, I think. So granted, you'll be able to run this stuff for 4 or 5 days. I think afterwards the builds aren't going to change really, and I think they're still going to be good. If we see a huge fall off, we'll obviously go in and update for hunters, but for now, before this mini patch comes out and the next patch after that comes out, we're going to see these mages in and around the top 3. I'm going to go through the top 3 and then we're going to go over the builds because the builds are the exact same on all of them but Freyja. Soul is number 3 on our list. As I said, the other mages are going to have the same build, so we'll go over those once we get to number 1. But for Soul being really good right now, you have the huge hitting autos off of the passive, getting your heat up and online. You have built-in sustain on your 1, plus the ability to self-peel and sit in your 1 whenever someone's diving you. The 2 for extra clear and the slow for chasing people down. Your 3 for survivability, the little bit of damage, and just the fact that you can get in and out of team fights, super safe. Nobody wants to go on you when your 3 is going to come up and they know you're not going to be able to kill them. Plus, once you have an Aegis too, that's like 8 seconds of CC immunity. Like that's what it feels like. It feels like you're just untouchable for so long. And then your ultimate, more self peel, huge burst damage. They buffed the ult and made it really, really easy to land, which is going to be super convenient for you guys. I played Soul for the first time in months and I was hitting every ult. I was just straight dumpstering people. And I've always been like hated the way Soul ult felt, and it just felt super fluid and clean. So that's something to just remember when you are playing Soul, or when you're looking at options. Soul is really, really good right now. Remember those changes. Number 2 on the list is Freyja. Freyja, another god with survivability built into the kit. The fact that you can stay alive for an extended period of time. Like with Soul, you have your 3 into an Aegis. Well, with Freyja, you have your Aegis into an ult, or your ult into an Aegis. You have the Whoop for self-peel or for setup. You've got the 2, which is your clear and your big damage and your slow. So it sets you up to get your auto attacks off. And then your 1, which you're proccing while your 2 is up. So you'll 2, auto them once, and then you'll pop your 1, and you just do big, big, big damage for all 5 seconds. It's ridiculous. As soon as you have Ring of Hecate, boots, and haste and ring, you will literally kill everybody. Like you're untouchable on Freyja. You just run people down. You can kite them around in circles. They can't get to you. It's fucking crazy. All you have to do is land your fucking autos. Plus, then you have Magic Lifesteal built into your kit, making Ring of Hecate, Lifesteal boots, and Typhon's Fang all being that much better in your kit. And the fact that you can sustain in and out of fights is ridiculous. Number 1 on the list can be Kronos. Kronos, our 3rd mage with a massive amount of survivability, an ultimate that resets to whatever point you were at 8 seconds ago. So you can full heal, get your abilities back online. You're able to go back into the fight. It is absolutely one of the most frustrating things to try to kill a Kronos fast enough and have him just reset and then pop you with his 1 and his auto attacks. You have your 3 for setup or for self peel, which is a little bit of damage. The stun on it is awesome. The 2 is the big boy selling point with the current meta, where auto attacks are hitting hard as Your fourth section gives you more magic power contributing to your auto attack. On top of that, you get attack speed at 35% at max rank, and then you get movement speed, which is doesn't it downscales over time, I believe. I always forget how Kronos works. Anyway, you get movement speed, attack speed. It lasts 7 seconds, and you get extra power in your auto attacks. No one can compete with Kronos autos, it feels like. Like Freyja kind of can, because Freyja's sick, but with Freyja you don't have as much of the additional damage coming out of the 1 for range damage, the 3 for the setup damage, the full instant reset, plus like I said, you're just fast as doing a lot of damage. You're able to zoom around. You have a built-in fatalis essentially. You don't need an item to do it. It makes Kronos that much better. And then we'll go into the builds real quick. We're on smitesource.com, as you guys know. As always, Kronos build, boom, 1 build, not even hard. This is actually lifesteal boots are better here. I just haven't gone through and updated them because I'm trolling. These are not terrible. It is not going to make you win or lose the game, but lifesteal boots are going to definitely scale better with this build. So you're going lifesteal boots, Ring of Hecate, get this shit online. Once this is online, you're doing big boy damage. You're going Spear of the Magus for the extra power because the Spear of the Magus is insane. This item I think is being slightly tweaked in the patch. I could be wrong. If it gets tweaked enough to where it's not in the build or changed, we'll update that. But for now, lifesteal boots, Ring of Hecate, Spear of the Magus, Typhon's Fang to boost all of that lifesteal. Then you go in Telkine, so you're hitting hard as fuck. You can shift these 2 up if you don't feel you need the lifesteal right away. The pen from Typhon's is awesome, but putting Telkines here if you're way ahead will make you slap. You'll hit way harder. And then Demonic Grip to round out your penetration. And then you are going to sell boots for either Hasten Ring or whatever you need in this slot. If you need more penetration, you can go ahead and grab that. You could even get a Soul Reaver if you need penetration. You can get Toxic Blade if you need anti-heal, or get that Hasten Ring just for the extra auto attacks, the extra movement, and the attack speed. And the proc, obviously, it's nice to have. So here is the Kronos build. You will use this build on Soul. And also, if you play Oleron, Oleron is one of those gods I'd honorably mention. Most people suck at Oleron, so I'm not putting it in the top 5 for these. I'm giving you guys some Hunter options and some ADC options that are really good right now. Most people are absolutely terrible with Oleron. Your positioning is important, your use of your ult is important, and your self peel is important. And very few average players or lower you do any of that. It's more of a higher skill god. It reminds me of like Persephone and even Cthulhu right now. It feels like the good players can just exploit it, and the low end players just get exploited. That's why you're not seeing Oleron in there, but this is the Oleron build you would run. And then we'll go over and we'll jump into Freyja last real quick, since we did talk about her being number 2. Her build pretty much the same, except for you're grabbing Hasten Ring. You're getting the Hasten Ring instead of extra lifesteal because you have lifesteal built into the kit. That way you can change up your boots and you can sell them for the Typhon's Fang at the end game, giving you all the lifesteal you need, all the attack speed you need, the ability to stick to people, and the full on carry. You will absolutely be able to carry with these builds. Hopefully this helps you guys. It shouldn't be that surprising. I think in the SPL, at least for this weekend coming up, we're going to see all of these gods either picked or banned all the time, and it's going to be really interesting to see their matchups. Kind of excited for that, to be honest. And we still have to do supports. That video will be coming up. I hope to get that out the day after this one goes live, so tomorrow essentially, and then we'll be done with top 5s for now. And I really think we're gonna have to update it really quick. Just it's almost like a new season with all these changes and even more changes being put in. We don't know what's going to stay at the top, what's gonna rise, what's gonna fall. So as it does, I will update this stuff for you guys. I will keep you guys in a place to play the best gods and carry your games and do what you need to do. So hopefully this helped you guys. Subscribe, please hit the subscribe button. We're killing it. Content has been fucking perfect. Responses have been perfect. Feedback from you guys has been perfect. So just keep it up. Like, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this whole, the way things are going, the item changes, the gods that are top right now, and prepare for the support top 5 tomorrow.